Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
You ready, chat?
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
From the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Everybody gets a Yahtzee, chat. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you very much for being here. Holy schmolies, guys. Well, first of all, the videos are real. If you weren't aware, the videos are real. If you don't know what the videos are, well, you were just watching the intro with the videos. But, you know, here you go again. The videos are real, and this is Gorgon's Stare, apparently. They're just hiding super secret surveillance capabilities from the public. And we're just using it to apparently conduct covert, illegal black operations. So I'm here to tell you guys, I'm definitely cooked. I'm cooked for sure. I'm surprised I've gotten this far. But you know what? We're going to push it as far as we can push it, guys, until we get to the GG, you know, until we run out of lives. We're going to push it as far as we can push it. Second thing is we are well beyond the green door right now. We are well beyond the green door right now, guys. If you don't know what the green door means, the green door means that you have been selected from special operations to join basically a covert project that potentially uses advanced technology. So now I'm starting to understand what people are talking about. This video right here, this is exactly what the world needed in order to wake up. In order to wake up. I haven't even been thinking about the fact that there's orbs spinning around this plane for the last 2 days. I've been sitting here in shock, literal having ontological shock again for 2 days straight. And it has had nothing to do with 3 orbs spinning around the plane and making it disappear. What it had to do with is the fact that that's a covert operation. If you have now been catching up, last week we determined that video is Gorgon's Stare Increment 2 with Aegis IS/IR. What we're looking at there is probably Aegis IR. It's a DARPA contract. Nobody knows the exact capabilities, but it's nighttime surveillance. After we discovered that, everything from my perspective shifted. What I realized after that is, wow, we're looking at Gorgon's Stare, and this Gorgon's Stare capability was like brand new when they were recording that. Brand new. And then we realized the other video, the thermal drone video, like soon after that, everything started to unravel. We realized the thermal drone video that's in perfect synchronization that you see right here, we realized that this is a Lightning G4 targeting camera underneath the wing on hard point number 5. So we figured out all the assets within like a week, all of us suddenly, all at once. And then the biggest revelation, while we're in the middle of demanding Sierra Nevada Corporation tell us what they know about their Gorgon stare footage leaking all over the internet and demanding that the Air Force and that the DOD issue a statement. Look at that heat signature in the belly of that plane right there. I'm going to go back to it. Look at the heat signature in the belly of the plane. That's smoke. That's smoke coming off the plane. From inside the plane. From inside the plane. Not from the outside. From inside the plane. Now, the volume should stay legit now. It gets weird. It depends on how loud I am. So, we see this smoke coming from outside the plane. Now, what happened today was I was looking through my tweets and I ran across this reply. This reply right here. Let me fix this. Okay. By David Harleyson, which says the cabin atmosphere control distribution manifold zones can be seen in the thermal imaging video. The manifold is along the ceiling of the aircraft. The video is real. I think the hot spot on the belly is not a fire, but the AC pact, which runs by engine bleed air. That air is hot. So what he's saying there is that is hot air potentially coming out of the plane. Now, that's basically what we've been saying. Smoke is air, right? It's just hot air. So the only difference is I believe that there's, lithium, hydrocarbons, or some crap in that smoke. And honestly, it could probably be either. But the evidence is on my side. Why? Because of Catherine T. Now, the difference here is that I'm not just saying, oh, it's just smoke because no reason. I'm saying that there's a corroborating witness who saw that plane within 5 minutes of those videos, who saw dark smoke coming out of the plane. If that was just hot air, she's not going to see dark smoke in the middle of the night. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's going to end up being hot air coming out of the plane. But when I look at those videos, that doesn't look like just hot air. It looks like something that's like stationary in the air afterwards. And I'm going to repeat this. It cannot be contrails. This can't be contrails because the plane is flying too low. In fact, this part right here is the best part because you can see the dissipation of the smoke in the beginning. If you look very closely up there, you'll see the smoke kind of like dissipate apart a little bit. So hot air, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say pretty skeptical on that. But back to the original thing here. That's not necessarily the big breakthrough. The big breakthrough is this. This is the big breakthrough right here. Wow. Why is this so big? People are wondering, okay, Ashton, haven't you already been saying that there was a fire on the plane? Yes, I've already been saying there's a fire on the plane. And that person basically just showed and said that there's a very good chance that we're seeing, smoke or hot air coming from the plane. This part is the new part. This part is. So the person said, Ashton, I think we're seeing the atmospheric control manifolds as a temperature gradient in the thermal video. And they showed this. And I thought about it for a second and I went, yeah, wait a minute. Shouldn't there be like pipes or little zones stretching down the plane? There should be zones stretching down the plane that pump air in or out from the cabin going all the way down the plane. It's a huge airplane. It can't just be like the air can't just be coming from the front or the back. It's got to be coming from inside the middle of the plane as well. So I thought about it and went, wow, that's interesting. So if that's true, there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heat spots. And it should be like an exact match. So let's look at the image. Let's make it really big for everybody. Well, I look at this and right away I can see the doors of the plane. Now, I'm not an expert on Boeing 777s, but usually planes have doors in the front and the back. You can see the front door. I know that door you always go in on the front left. You can see the front door, yellow over here in the front. In the back, you can see the back door as well, also yellow. Because there's more heat getting through the door. Now, if you count up here and you count this big blob in the front as one, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, exactly 6 points on this plane. If you go down little bumps, like little snake bumps. Oh, you guys can't see my mouse. Okay. 6 little bumps, looks like 6 zones that match the manifest, God, I keep saying manifests. Ugh. The atmospheric control manifolds, each basically area where the air is either being pumped in or out. Wow. So that's not quite enough, but that's amazing. So big shout out to David. Thank you very much for that help, that support. You know what? I'll give you a little follow back right now as well. A little follow back action. So I found the source where that was coming from, because first thing I did was like, okay, let me Google this because I wanted to find out if this is true or not. Now, keep in mind, guys, I'm being very cautious about the evidence I put forth right now because we don't really need more evidence. We don't even need that second video. We've already proven both videos are real because the first video is Gorgon Stare whammy footage. No one was replicating Gorgon Stare whammy footage in 2014. I just revealed it last week. So we don't even need that second one, but the evidence was so strong, it was not dismissible. It had to be looked at, and it kind of closes the loop on the fire theory, or at least it definitely confirms the fire theory is what's going on. Now, here we go. At least in my mind, it does. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe it's not 100% accurate, 100% proof. Here's the actual video this came from. Boeing 777 CBT number 6 heat and air conditioning 63. So I was scrolling through this, and what do I see right here? Let's just listen to it.
Ducts.
Oh, wait. Maybe let's go back a little bit.
Memo message is no longer displayed.
Okay, here we go.
Air for the upper recirculation fans comes from the area above the main passenger compartment. The air is recirculated to the zone ducts.
Oh, baby! Look at that. Did you see that airflow pattern, chat? Could someone just clip this thing that just has the airflow? I really just want the part of this video that has that airflow like that right there. That's what I want right there. Oh, boy. Oh, that is a W. That is an absolute W. So
Air for the lower recirculation.
yeah, look, it's pumping the air upward into the cabin. It's pumping it up into the cabin, right? That's what this image shows.
Air is recirculated to the zone duct.
Yep. Yeah, it's being recirculated back up into the cabin. Holy shmwah! Oh my God, yes. Chat, it's happening. Wait, it's happening, chat. Hold on. Oh, baby. Woo! Let's go. Let's go. Wow. Okay. That's a rare Ashton dance, chat. So it looks like we just figured out from this video right here that what's going on in the videos is we're seeing this hot air get pumped into the cabin, recirculated from throughout the plane. So let me go back to the image. People are like, why is Ashton dancing on the stream right now? Okay. So in the image, why do we see 6 hot spots? I've been wondering, looking at that image, that thermal image, why don't I see the windows? So like, what are these hot spots? There's only a few of them. I never counted them. I was like, how? There's these hot spots. They don't match up to the windows. So what could those things be? Well, those hot spots are heat, because the heat from the air conditioning is pumping through the entire plane from the fire in the cargo bay and distributing that smoke, that heat, through those pumps into the cabin. And why am I excited about that? Which I really shouldn't be, because it's the death of 239 people, which is horrific. And my heart absolutely goes out to the family members. But that's how they died. The smoke was being recirculated through the plane, and it slowly builds up toxic lithium-ion battery smoke in the plane, and you just go to sleep. It would probably just be like, boom, and then that's it. And the heartbreaking, horrific part about this revelation is that I don't see any people inside the plane. Where are the heat signatures of the people inside the plane? Chat. Where are the heat signatures of the people inside the plane? Where are the heat signatures? Chat. Where are the heat signatures of the people inside the plane? You get what I'm saying? Like, if we're seeing the subtle heat difference of the thermal, like, distribution thing from outside the plane, we don't see, it's not that we, like, maybe we don't see, like, I would say, why don't we just see any? Like, shouldn't we see, like, one or, like, maybe something that looks like a person? The fact that we're seeing none tells me they're all out. Now, the pilots, though, I'm not ready to say that the pilots are necessarily dead because of the angle. The cabin might be like closed off. We might not be able to tell from inside the cabin from here. But that rest of that plane is looking ripped, chat. Like, I don't think we can deny the fact now that, like, it's very, very hard to even believe anyone could have been alive right here when we're watching this, because I don't see any action inside the plane at all. Now, if you want to be like super optimistic, then I say, you know, maybe they, like, if you're out, maybe they're on the floors or something like that, and we just can't tell. I don't know, but yeah, it's, so that's part of the reason why I've just been, like, you know, shocked at the moment. Now, the other revelation is this. It's Gorgon Stare. That's a thermal lightning G4 targeting pod. That thermal pod, it's FLIR. It's actually color FLIR. It's actually not even technically thermal. It's color FLIR. They're using a color palette over a FLIR footage there. And that technology on that particular camera was not standard until 2021. So if we're right about that camera, and I think we are, and even if we're not, that's definitely a covert operation. What I showed you on those videos, that's a covert operation, no question. So what we're really figuring out now is we're in the crime scene right now. You guys are in the crime scene with me right now. We're seeing evidence of a fire. This is absolutely a covert operation, start to finish. We have no reason to believe that the fire is not connected. Once we find out there's a covert operation going on, we have to assume the fire is connected. The only caveat I was even considering is maybe somebody else was responsible for the fire, and the covert operation was a counter espionage play. But even that doesn't make sense. To me, the covert operation had to probably include the fire as well. So ignore the orbs now. Ignore the Harry Potter technology that we've got going on. For a lot of people, that's probably shocking them right now. For people that have watched me, the orbs and the Harry Potter technology and the teleportation stuff doesn't really shock you anymore. What's really shocking me right now is how in the hell did a civilian airliner with Americans on board get targeted in an illegal covert operation? How? Because it had to have gone through some protocols for this to happen. And the government has red tape like crazy. How did this happen? And who is responsible for it happening? And you might say, like, Ashton, why haven't you not considered that before? Not really. Because until I knew 100% what the camera was and who was responsible, I didn't want to be throwing around accusations. But now I know that the cameras are Gorgon Stare and a Lightning G4 color FLIR that wasn't available for 7 more years. I have a really, really good idea of what's going on now. Now, this is definitely CIA operation. Now, they're using Air Force capabilities, so I'm not going to... Anybody who's implicated in this, they're not getting off the hook. Like Sierra Nevada Corporation, you're all over this. Air Force, they're using your Gorgon Stare capability, so you know that video is real Air Force. But it has to be CIA that's pulling the operation off, and this is where it starts to get sick. I've been digging into like what these programs are. You have SOCOM and you have JSOC. SOCOM are all the special forces, the Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, that kind of stuff. JSOC is even a level higher than that, I guess, or like some other specialty, super secret special forces operations. So those people, these are the people that are definitely going to be like the types of people that are involved in this operation. Those are going to be the people that are involved in something like this. The people that are these special operators who are never going to squeal ever in a million years. And that's how they've been able to keep it quiet. They've got people they trust that are never going to reveal what they do because they're doing illegal ass shit, super illegal shit. There's even a level beyond that I found out. I don't know if this is true or not, so please fact check me. Something called SAO or something, or Sword Art Online. No. What is it? Some special operation group that pulls, that's like works for the CIA. It's basically like the special force of the CIA, and they pull from all the special forces themselves. SGA or what was it? Some of you guys probably know the name of it. So apparently, SAC, is that what it is? Yeah, SAC, SOG. I think that's what it is. SAC, SOG. Yeah, that's the CIA's Special Activities Center and its Special Operations Group. These are the people I'm looking at. Yeah, these are the people, chat. These are the people. Okay, so these people down here apparently are the CIA's own special forces people. And these are the people that I'm going to guess are responsible for this. Why? Because they are using advanced assets that they had early access to. Basically, the people pulling this off, they're the early adopters. They're the people that are first in line for the iPhone. That's what these CIA people are they're doing this operation. That's what tipped me off. And that's when I realized, holy shit, we can prove everything with these videos. Now I know why nobody's talking about these videos. Everything became super clear to me. These videos are absolute proof of these illegal black operations that Stephen Greer has been talking about. Stephen Greer's right again, chat. Give the man a round of applause. I did not think that the government would be doing illegal black operations, like 100%, no question, illegal black operations with UFO technology. No question. When I look at the videos, that's a perfect description of what I'm seeing in the videos. CIA, Special Forces, or SOCOM, or JSOC, I don't really give a shit. Whichever assholes were doing it, they're performing illegal black operations, like super illegal, using technology that's like UFO technology that people would think is like from Harry Potter or the Jetsons or like Star Trek. But they're actually doing that. That's what gave me pause, chat. That's where I'm just sitting here going, holy shit. Because I realized I'm fucking cooked. I realized I'm cooked. I'm super cooked, chat. There's no point saving money for me. Why? Retirement? Chat. I don't get retirement. Shit. People make up shit and say I'm alcoholic. I deserve to be drinking on stream. I should be drinking right now. I really should be. Because, I mean, we basically found the deep state. We just went swimming with them, chat. We're in the swamp. We're so deep in the swamp that there's no land on any side. That's how deep in the swamp we are right now. I just realized. Like, I start to look up the commanders of SOCOM, General McRaven. I can't even make this up, chat. General McRaven, the guy who is the commander of SOCOM, and no doubt knows about MH370. He literally killed somebody's whole family and gave them a sheep. Said, here you go. Here's restitution. Here's a sheep. Bro, I am so cooked. And by the way, I think he's like super anti-Trump as well. Like went full all in on the fake, like Trump is a Russian disinformation asset, like intelligence letter. I think he signed off on that too. So I'm starting to realize this shit. I'm going, oh, wow. I'm going like, these are the people who would do something like this. I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to see the psychological, they've gotten too drunk with power kind of situation, right? And then the other one, I can't even make this up, man. You can't make this up. Like, you guys are actually right now living in the middle of a movie. You are. I am too. I can't even believe it. I keep looking at when people send me stuff. I'm so skeptical now. When I look at it, I just go, how? I go, did they make this up? Like, oh, I went ahead and did a deep dive. People do deep dives on these people, and I go and I find who is the JSOC commander, the JSOC commander. Who is that? Oh, it's General Joseph Votel, whatever. He was the JSOC commander. Well, what's he doing now? What's he doing now? Wait, let me remote view it, chat. We're remote viewing it. What is Votel doing? Oh, wait, could he be connected? No, don't tell me he's connected to, he can't be. Not the Gorgon stare. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, he's advising Sierra Nevada Corporation. What? He's advising Sierra Nevada. Well, let's get his face up on the big screen, chat. I don't know if this guy's implicated or what the deal is, but I'm confident enough to put his name on the big screen here and say that you definitely know, sir, what happened to MH370. Because you're literally advising for the company that has the footage of the plane disappearing out of the sky. Gotcha, bitch. 4K. Welcome to 4K, Joseph. Sorry, General Votel. I don't want to disrespect. I actually really, really respect the military. Really, really do. But holy crap, man. You guys have gone completely off the rails, bro. You've gone off the rails. You got to rein it back in a little bit. Yeah, you're teleporting civilian airliners. You need someone to maybe just check your morals for a second. Check your morals for a second. Strategic advisor to aerospace manufacturer Sierra Nevada Corporation. Out of all the places. Well. Out of all the places that you could possibly be working for, he happens to be working for the very company that I'm putting on blast. And Sierra Nevada Corporation is a private company. Of course, they're private. If they were public, they'd have to have a whole bunch more public filings about all the sketchy ass shit that they're doing. But since they're private, they don't have public investors. They don't need to do any of that. They don't need to worry even about illegality either. So, because I was going to blast them and attack their investors and point out that these people are doing illegal shit and destroy the value of their company. But I can't even do that. They were ready for it. They were already ready for that. They were a private company, so you can't even do that. So their company value is not even really known except for by the people that own the company. And it turns out Sierra Nevada Corporation is just all filled with spooks. So what they're basically doing, and basically all their money also comes from the federal government. Almost all of their money is coming from the federal government. So what's the scam that's happening right here? Well, we basically just found the Lockheed Martin of illegal spy surveillance. We found them. Boom, there they are. We found all the swamp in the deep state. There it is, chat. It's not what anybody wanted, but there it is. There's no easy way to clean this swamp up. This is sludge. This is toxic sludge that ain't going to come up. And there's no way to clean it up because this is not as simple as this person's right, this person's wrong, throw this person in jail. We've got institutionalized failure occurring here. And Sierra Nevada Corporation is basically getting all money from the federal government, and therefore now all their activities are shielded from FOIA requests. So we can't FOIA request any of their stuff. So they would have never, ever, ever been caught, not in a million years. They had the perfect setup to shield themselves from any scrutiny. They have all the experts, all the generals and that stuff, all as their board members, all in their main employees, all their investors. So what's happening here, the huge scam that the military-industrial complex has played on us, the way they were able to get to breakaway civilization level, the elites that know about this have been basically just entrenching themselves in society, in elitist society, abusing the knowledge of this technology. They know which companies are going to win and which ones are going to lose. How do they know? How is Pelosi winning every single stock bet? She knows exactly which companies have been set up to win ahead of time. It's not a matter of she knows what's going to happen in the near future. She doesn't need to. She knows who's going to win in the long run. She knows who's going to win in the long run. They all do. In fact, I'm going to rant even further right now and say that I am going to bet that most of these really rich elite people that everyone looks up to with their generational wealth, that generational wealth is entirely fraudulent. It's generational fraudulent wealth that they never earned. None of them ever earned. Their parents never earned it. Their grandparents never earned it. They stole it from the back of working class people with insider information they didn't earn. With insider information they didn't earn. And they've been using that knowledge and that information to keep us slaves this entire time and make sure that nobody else figures it out. Because when everybody figures it out, not only are we going to steal the technology from them, not only are we going to throw them in prison, execute some of them, we are also going to steal their wealth back too. We're going to take their wealth that they didn't earn, Lockheed Martin's money that they didn't earn, Sierra Nevada's corporation's money that they didn't earn, their owner's wealth, the billions of dollars that Aaron Osman or whatever didn't earn, that she shouldn't have. We're going to take all your money and we're going to freeze all those assets and we're going to give it to poor people. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take all the wealth that you didn't earn, that you stole from people over generations, and take it back from you and leave you with nothing. We're going to do an opposite. What was that bank that collapsed? Not Citizens. God, that one wasn't Sierra Nevada, was it? Oh, Silicon Valley Bank. We're going to do an opposite Silicon Valley Bank. Basically, instead of bailing everybody out, that all the rich people that lost their money, we're going to take all their money and give it back to the public that deserves it. That sounds like a good plan to me. And forget amnesty. Amnesty is long off the table. Man, imagine how bad those people messed up in 2023 when they should have passed that Chuck Schumer rounds bill. They could have passed that bill that would have given them amnesty and they could have had this thing over, but they got too confident. They got overconfident. They got cocky. They thought, no way is anything going to ever come out that would directly implicate us. There's no way. We're not gonna sign a bill that would have to give the technology up and give us amnesty. And now, those people are going to be running to sign the amnesty bill. The defense contractors are going to be sprinting to go sign the amnesty bill because otherwise the death penalty is coming for them. Otherwise, all their wealth is going to be taken from them. Literally, all their generational wealth taken, death penalty, prison, nothing good is going to come. I can't even protect them. I can't protect them. You want to know the truth? I don't even really want to reveal the truth. On some weird, twisted level, when I woke up, I almost kind of got sick when I thought this. I didn't even really want to reveal the truth because right now, nobody knows. And yes, some people's lives were destroyed. But when more people find out, many, many more people's lives are going to be destroyed. even if I wanted to protect the people that did this, when the public really finds out about this and what would happen, they are going to demand people's heads. Like the people that were in charge of the operation, those people are going to get executed. I don't really know how else to say it. Nothing else is going to suffice for those people. And I can't protect them. I'm going to come out and I'm probably going to be out against, well, never mind. I don't even know. I'll probably be for it. Who knows? So look, man, I'm just going to give you guys the best advice. Whoever squeals first probably gets it easiest, right? So Lockheed Martin, you know you're probably implicated in those orbs. You know you're probably implicated in those orbs. Let's be honest. The CIA didn't make the magical orb technology themselves. So the other angle of this is that the orb technology, if the CIA is the central point to this, what this means is the CIA is working with these defense contractors and taking all the UFO magical technology, and the CIA is keeping it for themselves to be used in these covert operations, just like we saw. And those videos leaking are the one absolute perfect evidence. Like you couldn't have even imagined better evidence that prove the whole conspiracy, the whole thing, the whole plan, everything they've been doing. It proves it all and gives you a paper trail that is undeniable. So this is the last part I want to talk about, and then we're going to jump into the letter to Ashton Forbes tonight. My normal job came into play on this. My normal job. I'm a healthcare IT. I call myself a database architect because I'm very, very good at relational databases, just database flow in general. Whenever there's an interface project, they put me on it just to help understand stuff. When I found out Sierra Nevada Corporation was the integrator of the technology, and there's a decent chance that the data is flowing directly through their servers, chat, that was like a power up. That shit powered me up, gave me supersonic speed. That was like, Mario getting the star. I became invincible once I heard that. I went, holy goodness, they are cooked. Oh my goodness, they are cooked. Just give me access to the servers. Oh, just let me start doing queries. Guys, I am the master of SQL queries. If you are hiding data on your server, I'm the last person on the face of the earth that you want to get near your servers. I could be possibly the absolute worst person on the face of the planet to find out that Sierra Nevada Corporation is the integrator of the Gorgon Stair technology. I dare them. I double, triple dog dare them to sue me. I pray for it at night before I go to sleep. I go, please, Sierra Nevada Corporation, you scummy piece of shit, evil criminal company that conducts illegal black operations and surveils them for the CIA. I beg you, bring your lawyers to me. Bring it to court. Let's go as far as we can take this thing. Let's go all the way, baby. Just give me discovery. Just let me see the database. Oh my God. If they have the Immaculate Constellation videos, oh my God, we would be eating for the rest of our lives, chat. No child would ever go hungry ever again on my streams. Never again. Please. My goodness, man. Y'all, I'm not, and if you think I'm playing, chat, I am not playing. The very first thing I will be looking for is the Argus IR footage, because I'm already like 99% sure it's Argus IR we're looking at. But right after that, it'll be Gorgon Stair Increment 2, and then Gorgon Stair Increment 3, and then we'll have found it by then. Boom. And then we start looking for the other illegal, sketchy shit, because there ain't no way in hell that that's the only illegal operation that you've been filming. No way. And then the last part of this is the UFO community. I forgot. We've left the UFO community in the dust. I forgot about them. I actually forgot about them. I forgot that there's orbs in these videos, and the UFO people think that the aliens are coming and that they're going to, impregnate all of us or whatever. And holy crap, was the whole UFO thing just a big scam? Like, I'm pretty sure we just accidentally solved the whole UFO scam. Like, we went ahead and showed that every single one of these UFO disclosure people that's connected to the government or connected to one of those people, they're all frauds. Every single one of them. Every single one of them is protecting this technology. Every single one. They're all either useful idiots that have just been completely misled and have no idea, or they know about it. And I think they just know about it because most of them just openly say that whenever they look at something, they ask the government if they can show it first. I still can't even understand that rationale. I would absolutely never think, oh, hey, can I show this to the government before and get permission before I go show this on a live stream? Those are words you're never going to hear out of my mouth. If you hear those words out of my mouth, then they replace me with a replicant, chat. You'll know that I am a reptilian insectoid mantis person if that happens. So we've accidentally solved the UFO phenomenon, which is, yeah, there probably are aliens. There probably were UFOs and maybe even flying saucers, but the vast majority of what we're seeing is human-made. It's human-made stuff. And the humans, maybe we figured it out from alien tech. I really don't know, and I just don't care, to be honest with you. But if we did, then that's the answer. Like, we solved it. You're looking at it right there. The answer is, okay, yeah, let's just say that the aliens are real and they were visiting us. Okay, well, we figured out the technology. We've been weaponizing it, and now we're in an arms race with China and Russia because everybody knows whoever figures it out first wins. The arms race over this technology is equivalent to the arms race over air superiority. Whoever has air superiority wins. The arms race over this technology is much like that. Whoever has it wins. And I want to address this comment, the science. Truthfully, chat, I've said this before. I was always in this to get the answer for MH370. I may never talk about science again. That's obviously a lie. I love science, and I'm going to talk about it a lot. But we're not going to talk about it tonight. Tonight, we're talking about we're going to break the biggest story ever. So the science about how the orbs work and how they're moving themselves around, that can wait for another night. In fact, you're not going to have to wait a long time because here's a shout out for you. Great moment. The next Hard Truths podcast is with Bob Grenier. Woo! It's about fusion, cold fusion, suppression of fusion, magnetohydrodynamic propulsion, endothermic propulsion, and dense plasmas. So, Merry Christmas, I guess. Wednesday, we're not going to have a live stream on Wednesday. Instead, I'm going to play the Hard Truths podcast with Bob Grenier, and you're going to have a pretty mega dose of science. Now, guys, I generally downplay my interviews, if anything. You're going to want to listen. It's really, really, really good. And I think we talk about X-ray lasers as well. And then Bob and I also chatted about the Cosmic Summit. We're going to be at the Cosmic Summit next month. And we have a classroom on the Monday, which I think is the last day in the morning for like 3 hours. So we're going to have some interactive stuff. I'm going to bring a plasma globe. Bob's going to have a bunch of his, like the metals and stuff that he's done. He's going to be explaining a lot of that. So if you're interested in that, there is a code as well. I think it's code Ashton for like 10% off or something. So if you are coming, you should use that code to at least save you some money. I think it's code Ashton. If not, if that doesn't work, I'll get you guys the right code by the next stream or for the Bob Grenier thing. Okay. So last thought on the UFO thing, and then we're going to take a look at the letter to Ashton Forbes because I think there's more clues in that. So the UFO thing, they've definitely figured out this technology. They've been hiding it. And obviously some people want this technology to come out, some versions of it, but it's probably too sticky, too much of a mess for anyone to say, okay, this is going to be what comes out, but not this. So part of the reason why I may still be alive doing this is that they've realized, well, just let this guy do it because he's doing a better job of disclosure than anybody else is anyway. So, if it works, it works, right? I kind of feel like that's probably the reason why I'm alive. How funny would that be? How funny would that be? Is if this like random ass IT guy just happens to like figure out the secret code to get disclosure to people. We just had to meme it. We had to meme disclosure to people, chat. That's what we had to do. They didn't know the secrets of disclosure the whole time. So if you see these plasma orbs out there, they're probably United States technology. Now, I'm not just saying that because of my own investigation. Take a look at this video as well. Which one is it? I think it's this one. Chat, that is the SOCOM commander, Admiral William McRaven, telling the story about 9 orbs that floated around and then just went up. I'm going to go ahead, wild guess, might be based on true events. I think that might be based on a true story, chat. Wild guess, that might be based on true events. Wow. The amount of coincidences that keep stacking up, it's kind of undeniable. Now, there's one more video actually I wanted to play that this reminded me of. I think I have it. Let me see here. I think I have to watch it on X. There's this video of Hal Puthoff talking about 0 point energy. Is this it? Let me see here. Dang, how long ago was it? And in this video, I'm going to pull it up here in a second. He is explaining how they're going to distribute 0 point energy to the masses. Yeah, here it is. This is so crazy. We're going to watch this first because after we watch this, the reason why we did all this first before the letter to Ashton Forbes is I want to see if there's any more evidence, any more details in the letter to Ashton Forbes. Now that we're like basically exposing all these deep state people's, bear to the world. So here we go. This one.
First of all, it's scientifically sound. This is not pseudoscience. The Casimir effect is a real effect. It's known to extract energy from the vacuum. Absolutely accepted by physicists. It's certainly embryonic in development, because I'm sure none of us arrived here today in an automobile powered by 0 point energy. So it is definitely early stages of R&D. When investors come to us, and we do have investors in our laboratory, we tell them it's high risk, infinite payoff. But it is high risk. So if you want to invest money in something that you know will make money in the next 5 years, maybe you wouldn't invest in this. But if you want to live your old age out as a trillionaire, maybe you would. So for workers in the field, our feeling is that just as the 20th century may go down in energy terms as the nuclear age, we think the 21st century will be the 0 point energy age. For example, you might think that the Mideast would not like this development, even if it was okay with the refineries. But the way to overcome that is to go to the Mideast people and ask them to underwrite the new development, so that can pull the plug on their potential competition.
Bro, are we watching a supervillain meeting right here? What are we watching right here? This literally feels like we're watching supervillains like have their master plan. Like we're just watching it play out here. Well, like, okay, no, I don't want to stop it. Here we go.
The nuclear industry also does not have to be threatened by the development of these sources, because you can go to the nuclear industry and say, you've got your magnificent billion-dollar plant here. We're not going to bother that. What we want you to do is pull out those nasty radioactive rods and throw them away and drop in our new devices. And then you can go to the public and say, we have gotten rid of radioactive pollution and we're reducing the price to the consumer. So it could be a big win for the nuclear industry, and they can continue to use their power plants.
How much are the cost of build one yourself and put it at your home and cut off your wires to the electricity?
I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Right here, skip the generator in the garage stage. We think, although you could, we think it would be better not to do that. I'll try to explain why. With the electric power utilities, the way you...
Wait, Hal Puthoff. Did he just say what I think he said? Did he just say we should skip the generator in the garage stage? The generator in the garage stage is everybody having their own free energy device. Wait, so he's saying we shouldn't give everybody their own free energy device? Yes, this video is old, chat. This video is from 1994. This is 31 years ago. 31 years ago. So whatever was being planned in this video has probably already happened. That's the point of watching it.
You keep from threatening them is that you don't want to have everyone have one in the garage unplugged immediately because the economic chaos would be too big. But the electric power utilities are having to meet increased capacity requirements all the time. And in the United States, they must satisfy a Clean Air Act, which is very difficult. And so you go to the electric power industries and say, okay, as you add new units to meet increasing demand and need to meet clean air requirements, don't build more of the old kind, just add our form. Because let's face it, even if we had generators up and running, it would still be a couple of decades before you could get them all distributed around anyway. So we think you skip the generator in the garage stage, and instead, you'd go to a TV manufacturer, you would go to a washing machine manufacturer, a dishwasher manufacturer, and say, okay, on your next new model, instead of having a plug, the plug's in the wall, have these never say die batteries in the back. And so that way, as units become obsolete, new units get introduced without plugs. And so you slowly unplug from the utility companies instead of doing it all at once.
Yeah, because economically, most people are not going to go out and buy all new equipment.
That's right. That's right. So I think that's the way to approach it.
Wow, bro, they had a plan. They had plans. Oh, I mean, guys, when I say I was going through shock, like I keep going through ontological shock. I'm like, do you really think that Hal Puthoff's not the #1 guy? I don't know who could be above Hal Puthoff. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. He's Majestic 12 #1. I don't know. I don't know what fraternal system they use for determining who's ranked higher than who, but at the top has got to be Hal Puthoff. Like I just don't know who else it could be. And I'm guessing that room is filled with like big energy execs and things like that. And he's going, just to recap for the people who didn't quite grasp the context, he's going, we've figured out 0-point energy. We can produce energy at much, much more efficient levels. And he goes, but you know what? We can't really just throw it out there because the Saudis will get mad because we're going to destroy the oil industry. So what we'll do is we'll have them come and invest in it so that their old oil stuff will go away and they'll become investors in the new 0-point energy technologies. That way they won't kill us. And he goes, we're not going to give it to the people. That's stupid. Give it to the people. No, of course we're going to keep it for all the money for ourselves. So instead of doing that, what we'll do is we're not going to tell anybody. We're not going to tell anybody what we're doing. We're just going to put new generators in, upgraded generators. We're the power company. We don't need to say where all the power is coming in from. We're the power company. We just add new generators and they replace the old ones, which were less efficient, right? That's all that needs to happen. Do we need to charge people less when we put in more efficient generators? No. We charge people the same amount. Maybe we charge them a little bit more, in fact, because we upgraded. We made the energy better. It's cheaper now for us. Not for you, but for us. So we made it better. So we charge you more. Do you guys see the game yet? Has it become clear yet what's going on? So essentially, they have free energy technology. They don't plan to give it to us. They've been profiting off of us for at least 30 years, probably for a lot longer. And they intentionally did not give it to us because they knew that wouldn't work. What works is they keep it for themselves and they drip it to us while they make billions and billions of dollars dripping it to us. And they know which things are going to win and lose ahead of time because it's all been prearranged in backroom deals. It's all been prearranged. That's how the real world works. Welcome to the real world, everybody. You're in it. Oh, man, I wish it was an Irish coffee. Thank you, Matt, for that cookie, man. Thank you for both those cookies, Matt, and thank you guys in the Rumble chat as well. Appreciate it. So we have identified at least one deep state company, Sierra Nevada Corporation. In fact, I would be surprised if there's any surveillance companies that are more entrenched than Sierra Nevada Corporation is. I think we got a big fish on the very first bite. And I don't think they saw it coming at all. I don't think they saw it coming. I think that Sierra Nevada Corporation got completely blindsided because between the time we found it was Gorgon Stare and I started throwing shots at Sierra Nevada, it was like 24 hours. They had no idea that was coming, and they just got shook by it. We shut down their phone lines. We shut down their phone lines, chat, of a major defense contractor just by asking them what their stance is on their leaked Gorgon Stare footage all over the internet. Whoo! Boy, I really hope I live to 50, chat. I'm going to be lucky to live to 50 at this point. So, if you're not familiar, the background of the letter to Ashton Forbes video is that it appeared on a sketchy YouTube channel, not even a sketchy YouTube channel, like a crazy YouTube channel, a YouTube channel that was doing like weird, surrealist AI, like event recreations. That's how I would describe it. Weird AI. I've never heard anything like the stuff I've heard on this channel ever in my life. It was like, hey, let's do a recreation of the Miami Mall aliens incident. Like a super detailed one. You're like, what? Why? Why would you do that? And then all of a sudden, on the same YouTube channel that was doing these weird AI things, that was brand new, really highly produced AI videos, comes this video called Diego Garcia Whistleblower, a letter to Ashton Forbes. And the timing was really weird because I was just on Tim Pool in January of 2024. On January 5th, I remember it was a Friday. I was kind of thinking about like branching out into other stuff and not really talking about MH370 as much because I realized how deep in the shit I was. And then this letter comes to me and it just changes everything. Changes my perspective on the case, changes my perspective of the orbs, which before that I really didn't understand very well at all. And yes, of course, it's probably some form of like foreign intelligence or white hat or something. Of course it is. Of course it is. But that doesn't mean it's not right. It doesn't mean it's not true. So over the last year and a half, I've determined most of what you're about to hear in this letter is probably accurate. Probably not all of it, but most of it. Now, keep in mind, it's probably from the perspective of an individual and their own view. And now, before any of you yell at me about this one point, they say defector, and then they say deflector later on. They addressed this in a later follow-up video and said it was due to some translation, like language translation, and some voice AI modulation or something like that. The letter that I'm about to read off, there is no chance that it was written by AI. It's read by AI. The voice is AI, but it was not written by AI. No chance. AI can't, at the time this letter was written, AI could not do what you're about to hear. 100%, no doubt about that. And somebody did try to do an AI one. You can find it out there. It's by somebody called Nick Space Obar, and it's terrible. I can't even make it through 30 seconds of it. It's so bad. So what I want to find out tonight is, are there more clues now that we have a better context for who's responsible for the operation? Because if this letter was real, there should be stuff that ties back to it that connects it to be real. Contrary to, there was this AI thing on Reddit recently. So people don't share the AI stupid thing. It's not a real leak. This AI thing on Reddit was just copying my work. And then it put all this weird Tango Zeta, blah, blah, blah crap in there. That was fake. And we know that was fake because it was using the satellite information that we now know is wrong. We now know the satellite information was not what was filming that plane. And that thing said that the satellite data was, because it was a copy of my work. So that gets proven wrong in history. Very quickly, it got proven wrong. In less than a week, it got proven wrong. Now, if it were to turn out that this voice thing were to get proven correct, if some detail of this letter were to get proven correct, that would mean the letter must be real. So let's decide if we think the letter has more credibility or less credibility after the last year and a half of us watching or learning.
A submission sent to us the 8th of January of 2024. It's a letter to an Ashton Forbes telling a new story of what happened to Malaysian Airlines MH370 that disappeared back in 2014. And as always, don't trust what you read on the news. Trust your own capability to see the world for what it really is. Here we go.
I work or have worked at a military base in the Maldives, and I know exactly what happened to Malaysian Airlines MH370.
Okay, right off the bat, they probably worked at Diego Garcia.
This is also a letter to Ashton Forbes. You are not wrong, and what you do are much bigger than you even can imagine. Don't stop what you are doing. I won't tell any.
So right off the bat, people wonder, that doesn't sound like something a hoaxer does. If somebody wants to mess with you, the last thing they do is, hey, don't stop what you're doing and you're right. That's not what hoaxers do, guys.
Anything about myself more than that I currently or in the past has spent time at a military base in the Maldives. That I have done this type of work since I joined the military when I was young, and that was many decades ago. Still in the game, but the years are starting to get to me. I write this because I want the world to know that most of the trouble on Earth are created for political reasons. United States, or at least a covert administrative elite of the U.S., has, at will, complete control, and this has been true since the 60s.
So that right there, two aspects of that. One, United States has been in complete control, and since when? Since the 60s. There's a connection there between the 60s and possibly figuring out this super advanced technology. So what they're saying right there is that we started to figure out this technology, and then it just got out of control. Whoever sent me this letter is a sophisticated, probably special operations type person. This person is smart.
MH370 arrived at our base, by our hand, at 1856 UTC after we picked it up, mid-air, outside the island of Great Nicobar.
So that is a detail that was added that nobody has ever said. We picked up the plane at 1856 UTC. The question is, where was the plane at 1856 UTC? Do they mean that they teleported it at 1856 UTC? Or did it arrive at 1856 UTC? Because we have estimated that the plane is in the location where we see in the videos. We have coordinates at around 1840 UTC. But we could be a little off. What if it turns out it was at that coordinates 15 minutes later? What if it turns out the time that the plane's being seen in the videos isn't 1840? What if it's 1856 UTC? What if that's the exact time the plane's being teleported? Why did they say 1856? That's a really random time to throw out there. It's connected to nothing. I've looked up everything in MH370. Nothing says 1856 on it. So this is one of the things, like Florence Tachangi asked me this question. I asked Florence Tachangi to listen to this because she knows the next most about MH370 next to me. And she said, did it add any evidence that you weren't familiar with? And that was one of the pieces, 1856. That's something they threw in there, all on their own.
Just one of many, many things we do. We can pick up anything, anywhere, and deliver it in an instant, like a magic FedEx. Some facts about why.
We can deliver anything. So who's he talking about? We can deliver anything. Magic FedEx. This is the clue I think we're going to find out today, guys. Who is this person? Who is we? Who are they talking about here? Who's the person that who conducted the operation on MH370? Was it SOCOM? Was it JSOC? Was it the CIA? Was it the was it SAC, Special Operations Group, Special Activity Center? What if this person's from the Special Activity Center? What if this is someone who wrote this to me as a white hat from the Special Activity Center? What if they're not? What if English isn't their first language, but they're still a white hat?
It happened. MH370 had defectors on board. They were running to China with American technology. They are Chinese by blood and had gotten themselves into a situation with the Chinese regime who got them to choose to defect. The whole play, everything, and I mean everything about it, was a political play to show the Chinese who's their daddy. That's us.
Okay, wow, right? Like the way that the letter throws that out there, that, yep, they were defecting. Here's the motive. Like they just throw the motive out there. They go, this is why we did it. These people were defecting. These 20 people, 8 of them are Chinese nationals. They were defecting. China got them to defect. That's why we're doing the operation. And the whole reason was just a message to China. Who's your daddy? I want to throw up. What the fuck? What? Someone, you're telling me someone just made a decision that we got 20 people that we got to take care of. We're just going to do them all at once, and we're just going to add another 219. Oh, there's a few Americans. Well, collateral damage. Collateral damage. I don't want this part to be true. I really don't want this part to be true.
Some facts about how it happened. All passengers are dead, all but the handful of deflectors. The plane did not crash. The plane was on fire, we know because we started it. The plane was picked up by us, on fire.
This fire part, chat, should have whole new meaning after what we just looked at today, chat. This plane was on fire, man. And this was the part where I went, okay, they're not messing around anymore. So what happened? I figured out the truth. The fire was the thing that was the impetuous for this person to reach out. It wasn't even the orbs. They saw me figure out that it was a fire, and that was what they were trying to cover up. The special operation was trying to cover up a fire. They caused a fire on the plane. I figured out that it was a fire. I figured out that what happened was they knew it was a fire. Malaysia knew it was a fire the whole time, and that's what they covered up. That's what they were so deathly afraid of getting out to the public, that it was a fire and they knew about it, because everybody would have wondered, well, where's the plane? If the plane was on fire, it should have crashed somewhere. What are you talking about? Plane couldn't have been on fire. Where's the plane? Oh, well, we orbed it. What do you mean you orbed it? Yeah, we orbed it. It was over there, and now it's over there. We just orbed it. Doesn't really work on CNN, I don't think, in 2014. So, yes, there was a fire on this plane, and they orbed it. Why? Because apparently we got the most evil intelligence community out there, which I keep telling our adversaries, please do not mess with us. I'm too afraid to leave the country, and I'm an American citizen. If you are not an American citizen, you are not safe. You are not safe. We are the boogeymen. We're the boogeymen.
Mid-air, right in front of the Chinese. The Chinese regime knows exactly what happened, and that was the whole point of the operation. Okay, this is what I want to share with you. As I said, I have been doing this for a long time. I know the technology and have been a part of hundreds of operations.
What? I know the technology and I've been in part of hundreds of operations. This might be able to corroborate him. Hundreds of operations. This person is casually talking about what I think is the biggest cover-up and most illegal operation I've ever heard of in my entire life. One so illegal, I can barely believe that it's real. And this person is talking about, oh yeah, I've done hundreds of these. Hundreds. Magic FedEx, that's nothing. We do the Magic FedEx thing on Tuesdays. That's just, for you, that was the most amazing conspiracy of your life. For me, that was a Tuesday. Teleporting a Boeing 777 away and then just saying it just went into the ocean somewhere. Went to go get cigarettes and never came back. And how do they know the tech? How do they know the technology? The person who sent this letter knows the technology and they're involved in the operations. So that means the special operations people, if this person's part of the Special Activity Center, this person, they're aware of how the technology works. Even if they're not an engineer, this person's not an engineer. This person's not an engineer. This is a person who's an operator. So this person has been witness to this technology so many times that they know generally how it works. That's wild to me. And that means if they're right about the technology, then this proves this person's legit. Proves this person's legit. And what I'm going to spoil for you is they're right about the technology. I didn't even know what they were talking about. And now a year and a half later, I'm going, yeah, it's plasma toroids. Duh, it was always plasma toroids. What are you talking about? Well, here we go.
So let's start with the tech. The foundation is not superconductivity. Superconductivity is a product of the technology. We have had this since the 1960s, and from that first day, we have used it to make sure that no one else can have it.
Plasma is very conductive, and one of these properties of these EVOs, these dense plasmas, is potentially superconductivity. So that point there showed me this person is watching every single thing that I do. That small detail they said right there, you had to have been watching my old podcasts, or you have to be me in order to get that detail. So some of you who watch all my stuff, you probably know, oh, Ashton used to be talking about superconductivity all the time in the early investigation. I was saying these orbs are superconductive harmonic orbs. That was way before I knew anything about the tech. So this guy was saying, this letter is saying, it's not that superconductivity is some magical thing that turns the technology on. They were saying superconductivity is just a byproduct of this super advanced plasma technology. That's what they're saying right there. So right now, I already know they know what they're talking about. They're legit. So when people ask me, how do I know this person's legit? You're listening to the explanation right now.
The big breakthrough to apply the tech as we do today came in the beginning of the 2000s with quantum computers, and by this, the paradigm for AI technology. What we had to do programmatically before, we now can do with something akin to machine intuition. This lets us operate in fast-moving environments where event-based logic in linear programming was very limited.
So, holy shit, this was the part where I was like, I kept thinking about it, and I'm going, this makes too much sense. And only somebody who's involved can make this up. I got literally sent scripts for someone's TV show they want me to read, to review for the science and stuff from a science fiction perspective. No one could even make up what that guy just said. He's going, what happened was early 2000s, we figured out quantum computers, and quantum computers were some kind of key to make this tech just go off, just pop off. It just starts popping off after that. And well, I can kind of guess, what does he mean by event-based logic? Event-based logic? How about three-dimensional flight navigation? Like the orbs flying around? How are those orbs flying around like that? That's not people inside there. No one's controlling that with a joystick. That's an AI navigation system flying those orbs around, right? So why have we been building these quantum computers? What are these quantum computers we've been building for the last 20 years even for? Does anyone even know? Like, ask somebody. They'll just go, we don't know what they're for yet. We've been building them since 1998 and we don't know what they're for yet. What year is it today, guys? I think it's 2025. That doesn't really add up to me. Do you usually build stuff without knowing what it does, or without a purpose? Just pointing that out there. So this whole idea of this technology first getting discovered in the 60s, taking complete control of the planet. And so when people say, Ashton, well, people will go, Ashton, why don't we just take over the world if we have this technology? Because the world doesn't work that way. We have control of the world. We do have control of it. That's the thing. You're looking at what it looks like when America has control of the world. This is what it looks like. Does China do anything to us? No. Does Russia do anything? No. Even when we provoke Russia and literally build bioweapon labs in Ukraine right next to them, Russia still won't touch us. Instead, they're going to fight themselves. They're fighting Ukrainians, which are basically just Russians. You guys really think that we're afraid of Russia? All these wars are just a scam. They're just a game. They're just a few weeks ago, somebody was saying that, or not even a week ago, the India and Pakistan, World War III is coming. India and Pakistan are going to blow each other up. No. Within a day, America stepped in and said, shut up. You kids, stop it. Stop it, kids. You little spoiled kids. You cut it out. You go back into your corners. You go back to your bed. Done. We control the world.
I said what you have found is not the technology itself. It's just one of many derivatives of the technology. I encourage you to keep on with what you are doing, but you should also be aware that there is a deeper layer that you could focus on instead of the Miami aliens that I see you have been posting about. I will give you some pointers for this at the end of this letter. The products or application you are now working on is correctly based on superconductivity. The number of orbs you've been speculating about is correct. The fourth orb decides where the object ends up. The technology is based...
Okay, boom, wow. So some people would say, did he contradict himself right there? Because earlier he said superconductivity is not the basis for this technology, but now he's saying that for what you found, superconductivity is important. Why is superconductivity important? Well, because what we're doing is quantum tunneling. We are straight up quantum tunneling right through space-time. We are making a wormhole. Superconductivity is very important for that. And superconductivity is very important for dense plasmas as well. Why? Because we cause our Cooper pairs, our electrons, to pair up. And when our electrons pair up, what does that mean? That means now something that I couldn't go through, I can pass right through it. I can now pass right through. I can now collapse down onto a single point. That's what Cooper pairs means. That's what this technology enables. The superconductivity enables the plasma. It enables potentially the teleportation, the quantum tunneling. It enables basically all of it. Quantum entanglement. Where's the thing? Wait, that's not it.
On structures. Simple and beautiful structures that lets us use the unlimited power that is everywhere and step outside what I would like to describe as perceived reality. The structure that is used for what you are looking at is a metastructure that creates a low complexity and relative low energy phase transition.
Wow. So I guess we are talking about science tonight, chat. So if you are here for the science, you're here for it. So what you're seeing is a low energy phase transition. Remember yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever, Friday, we were talking about low pressure environment. Oh, actually, that was, sorry, this is for the podcast coming out on Wednesday. If water is under low pressure, water will just break apart. It'll boil. Water will boil under low pressure. So if you can manipulate the pressure, you can create a low energy phase transition. You can cause a low energy phase transition to occur. And when we look at this right here, the reason why I pulled this up is that these balls of plasma, they have this soliton behavior. Soliton behavior is like everything's acting as one. Super fluidity. And then you also can say that they are very dense. It's a dense plasma. Because if we have these Cooper pairs forming, then everything is collapsing down onto a single point. So now we can have this very, very dense plasma, electrons that have stacked on top of a single point. And so we've got electrons that have stacked on top of a single point, as many electrons as we can fit. And how many electrons can we fit into a single point? The answer to that question is Avogadro's number. Avogadro's number is how many electrons you can fit onto a single point. And it's a massive number, an almost unfathomable number. That's what this person's saying right here. Now, do you know who told me about Avogadro's number? Salvatore Pais, U.S. Navy engineer. Why would he be the one to tell me about that?
The beauty of this technology lies in its elegance and simplicity. The structures are inherently stable and self-regulating, and the earlier challenge—
Sorry to keep interrupting, but the stable and self-regulating structures, what does that remind you of? That reminds you of the plasma orb. He's talking about the plasma orb we're seeing, but he's not specifically saying that, is he? In fact, I don't think at any point throughout this whole thing he ever specifically talks about the plasma orbs. He just says the technology you're seeing is this, and then he talks generally about these idea of this technology. It's self-sustaining, self-coherent. He's talking about these balls of plasma that they're able to make coherent ball of plasma that can float around. Yeah, and it must be some kind of a vacuum effect that they are exploiting, right? Which is manipulating space-time. When you're creating a vacuum, you're either expanding or you're contracting space-time. So what have they figured out? They've figured out unification. They've figured out unification of physics. They understand what the universe is made of, and therefore they can engineer physics at the small scale and the same physics at the big scale. So what seems impossible to us, teleportation, is not impossible because it's just quantum tunneling scaled up. Scaled up quantum tunneling. And for them, it's trivial because they have unified physics. They understand the unification of physics and the forces. And once you figure that out, scaling things up is trivial. So for us, it looks like something that is from another dimension, from another galaxy. But it's actually just that we don't understand physics, that the black project engineers that work for Lockheed Martin, Sierra Nevada Corporation, Northrop, SAIC, Bigelow, there's too many names to even list. Boeing, they've known it. They've known it. The thing that they are suppressing from us, from the masses, from the normies in the society, is they are suppressing science. They're suppressing physics. They're suppressing this understanding of the universe. They're suppressing unification of the forces. They're probably suppressing over 12 Nobel Prizes. Over 12. So we're talking 100 years worth of Nobel Prizes. They're basically already have figured out. That's how far advanced they've gotten.
To conduct operations were 100% based on the limits of man. With the same technology, just a slightly altered monostructure gives us an infinite power generator that without maintenance can run forever. Combine structures to a
So right there, he just gave it away too. It's a free energy device. It's a free energy device. You can use one of these monostructures, one plasma ball. One plasma ball is a free energy device. If you take multiple plasma balls, jam them together, you get teleportation. So what are we realizing? They've figured out something primal about the nature of our universe. Primal. They've figured out this primal force that is like fire. It's like discovering fire, but it's plasma ball. And the plasma ball is fusion. They've figured out perfect fusion. Perfect fusion. We're talking unlimited energy. Unlimited energy, just a sun. Imagine a miniature sun. Not only can we scale things up, we can scale them down. So not only can we take quantum teleportation, quantum tunneling, and turn it into real teleportation, we can take the sun and turn it into a little miniature sun that produces free energy, unlimited energy. And if we take multiple suns and jam them together, we can teleport stuff, zap stuff. We can probably just annihilate it as well. So for my annihilation fans out there, for my casual annihilation enjoyers, yeah, we got some annihilation for you too. You know what? We're probably going to zap a few asteroids away to nothingness. That'll be fun to watch. So maybe Apophis. Maybe Apophis in 2029 will be the first zap that bad boy into the sun or something, Okay, let's keep going.
Product again, and you have the propulsion for a transmedium object moving faster than light. It's the definition of magic. There are endless applications, and the truth is that it would change the world in an instant. But that won't happen. I bet yourself, or at least most of your audience, have heard a version of the story that the aliens are here and they want to bless us with new, clean, and revolutionary technology, but we are a too young and rowdy civilization and would not be able to be responsible enough with the gifts from them. That's probably made up, but that is at the same time completely true. It's just not aliens saying this. It's us again. The technology is infinite in its power, and if two rivaling parties had access to it, this world wouldn't last a day. The same technology.
Well, that's some hard truth right there. That's some hard truth. The world wouldn't last a day. Who's making that judgment? Probably the people that are teleporting airplanes out of the sky. I mean, if your philosophy on the life is that we got to teleport airplanes out of the sky to send messages to people and kill 239 people to send a message to another country, then yeah, the world's not going to last a day. Absolutely not. If that's what our philosophy is, then you better just start annihilating all our enemies because, man, that's ruthless as it possibly can be. What are we waiting for, right? Start zapping everybody to Zeta Reticuli or whatever we're going to do. But what else do they bring up there is that they take a shot at the alien people. And when I first read this letter, I was still open-minded to the idea that there was some good in the heart of the woke disclosure people. I'm being a little bit too extravagant with my word choice here. But no, they are absolutely using aliens as a misdirection. They're using aliens as a misdirection to misdirect us from the fact that they are using extremely advanced technology on illegal operations, super illegal operations. And they're justifying it in their own minds based on this letter. They're justifying it in their own minds because if we gave this away, if we told the truth, the world would be destroyed. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say that under that viewpoint, if your viewpoint is if I don't if I don't destroy these people, the world will be destroyed, you can justify basically any atrocity. You can justify any atrocity. So now I'm glad we waited to the end to play this video. We're only about halfway through because it helps us to rationalize how could they do something like this? Because look at their viewpoint. From their standpoint, they have to do this. From their standpoint, they must do this because if they don't do this, then the world's going to be destroyed. They think they're saving the world. They're the main characters. They're the heroes saving the world by killing 239 people on a civilian airliner. These people have lost touch with reality. That's the only conclusion I can reach. Unless there's another aspect of this story that is not being told here. And they've gotten drunk with power. And they've gotten drunk with power with hyper advanced technology that they're justifying that like we're not good enough to have while they make themselves filthy rich. Filthy rich. And I want to repeat this point too about Elon Musk. Elon Musk has got to be the most blue-pilled NPC in the universe about this topic. I just cannot even fathom how he's so blue-pilled about this. Thinks, oh, well, if they had this technology that was free energy technology that could just go single stage straight to orbit, why aren't they competing with me? Because Elon, they don't give a shit about being the richest person in the world. That's not their goals. They want power, not money. Money is for stupid people. They control the money supply. They have all the money. If they get distributed $5 billion, that's enough for their entire lifetimes and for the rest of their entire family's generations for the next 100 generations. They don't need $500 billion. They don't need to be the number one person on social media. In fact, they don't want to be on social media. The whole point of what they're doing is they want to be in the shadows with power and enough money to do whatever they want to do. That's why they don't compete with you. Their goals are bigger than just money. Bigger than Elon Musk wants to go to Mars. It's like the dumbest, got to be the dumbest thing ever. Go to Mars? What the hell are you talking about? Go to Mars. Nobody's going to Mars, bro. Ever. We're going to go to Mars just to like check it out sometime. No one's going to live on Mars. A, there's better planets we can go to. B, we can go wherever the hell we want. C, we don't need Mars. You want to go live on the moon? Live on the moon. Live on an asteroid in the middle of nowhere? Do that too. We have access to free energy all around us everywhere. I think the key is we just want to get away from each other. Get away from each other because we are going to wipe each other out. I feel like my safest place is as far away from all of you as humanly possible. I'm just kidding. You guys are fine. But some of y'all out there, some of y'all out there ain't fine.
With a combination of monostructures, makes a terrifying weapon that turns any matter into dust, and that dust turns into air. It does not matter if the object is a small bird or an aircraft carrier. It cannot be stopped. It does not miss. And when the object has been hit, the phasing cannot be stopped.
Jesus.
Okay, so back to MH370. We knew about the deflectors as soon as they made their decision. Well before that, but then they weren't deflectors. Anyway, we knew when, how, and why back in December, and as we do, we made it into politics. We let them go. We took them back and sent the Chinese a clear message of who is in control. And we did this with a brilliantly produced show that is fit for a Hollywood production.
We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. And the world is our stage.
I added that last part in there from a 60 Minutes clip. That's a real 60 Minutes clip from a real Mossad whistleblower. Mossad is basically just the CIA, but Israeli version. I added that in there to give you an idea of what these people are really doing. They're writing screenplays for operations, that they are buying whole companies to infiltrate supply lines. This is like the craziest shit that people just have no idea the level of intricacy that they're going to in these operations, these black operations. And what they're saying is that the whole thing was a setup. They knew the defectors were going to go to China. They had already known about it ahead of time. They said, we knew the defectors were planning it. We took them back. What is this telling me? This person is CIA. This person is Special Activities Center. We took them back. We knew they were defectors. The Navy is not going to know these people are defectors. The Air Force isn't going to know these people are defectors. The CIA is going to be the one monitoring them. I think this person was a white hat. Somebody that was trying to get the truth out.
Any good movie has fire, desperation, regret, and drama. And every movie villain should see their plan fall apart. And in really good movies, just when the villain has accepted that the plan has failed, the heroes of the movie steps in and makes it worse. This is what happened. As soon as we knew what plane was the last leg of their journey, we planned and delivered, so the plane was loaded up with lithium-ion batteries, built by us for this occasion. Lithium-ion batteries cannot be put out, has a predictable burn rate, and we made sure that the volume was just right for a long burn that would allow for a full-length show.
Wow. There it is. Why the fire? There it is. I mean, that person's just confessing. So either that person's lying and making up a story, or there it is. Why do I say that it was all intentional? You just heard it. I'm convinced. They wrote a movie script up. They had the fire ready to divert the plane away from China because China is where the plane's trying to go to. So the fire, turns the plane back around the other direction. And they pick a point. It can be any point. Maybe they have a reason why it has to be that certain point. I don't know. And they orb the plane away. Yeah. It's totally sick. Totally sick. And they knew it was going to happen. That's the sickest part. This person's admitting we knew this was going to go down months in advance, and we set up a counter espionage operation. We countered it. We knew these people were going to go to China, and we were like, nah, we're just going to set up this kind of. So we knew ahead of time. Like, so we were just okay with killing all these people like months and months in advance, preparing for it. Like, the only part that I can't reconcile here is they say they took the people back. They took the other people back. Did they? How do you take people back in a situation like this? What, they're just going to live as prisoners for the rest of their lives? Because if that's going on right now, I don't know. I really don't know if I can stomach it, chat. I really don't know if I can right now. If there are Chinese slaves building free energy technology and Diego Garcia or some shit like that, I'm not sure my mind can accept that information at this point. I'm just going to assume they're dead. I can understand. I can rationalize it better if they're dead. If somehow they saved those few people and everybody else is dead, I don't know.
The Chinese were following the plane since it was on the tarmac and got to see their most close to success operation go up in flames. And just as all hope was lost, we made it worse. Right in front of their eyes, 2 hours and 13 minutes in, they saw the plane get phased out of there by the same technology they were trying to get access to. And 5 days later, the Chinese officially made a gesture of submissiveness by publishing a frame from the satellite of the phase moment via the State Administration for...
Chat. What the F? This is a real image that was leaked online by China. They've never leaked a satellite image before or since. They randomly leaked this satellite image onto the internet 5 days after the plane disappeared through the Ministry of Science. The Ministry of Science randomly posts these images. This other one as well. This one here as well. Multiple images. It gets reported on as a debris. Does that look like a debris field to you, chat? In what world is that a debris field? In no reality is this a debris field. That is not a debris field. That is 3 orbs circling around a plane, presumably. I mean, right? So China knew that we did this. So this other thing this presents is that, A, there's no stopping this weapon. Once these orbs go off, you're done. You're cooked. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping the phase transition. There's no reversing it. You're done. And China knew it happened. And basically, China just took it like a bitch. China took it like a bitch. China took it, and there was nothing they could do. Nothing, absolutely nothing they could do. They didn't have a Twitter account. They didn't have a Twitter account, chat. All it took to solve the mystery was a Twitter account. Apparently, China didn't have one of those. So China instead, since they didn't have a Twitter account, they just leaked satellite imagery on the internet. I don't know what they thought that was going to do. Nobody had any idea what the hell they were doing when they were leaking satellite imagery, except for me, apparently, when I said, that looks like spycraft. True story, chat. I'm the first person out there that looked at those satellite images. It was probably around September, October of 2023. And I went, this looks like spycraft. This looks like China saying, we know what you did or something like that. And I thought that was a stretch at the time. Now I'm going, that's definitely what that was. That is definitely what that was. China leaked those images on the internet. How crazy is that? Do you know China hacked the Malaysian Ministry of Defense? China hacked the Malaysian Ministry of Transportation, stole information about the plane the next day. You're not going to see that on the Netflix documentary.
State Administration for Science. The publishing was talked about in American newspapers as a possible debris field. But when you know what you are looking at, it's clear what the frame shows. The aftermath.
Listen.
During the 5 days after the show, the Chinese found out about the batteries, that we both made and placed them on the plane. They accepted that we have been playing with them the whole time and at the same time could accept that the people they had convinced to deflect did what they wanted. It was us that stopped them. The deflectors had a good corrective experience when it comes to staying loyal and were back on the job as usual, but with a new understanding both of their importance and the consequences of their actions. What was nothing more than another Friday at the office for the administrative elite 200 people had the most confusing death experience you could imagine.
Wait, they said they went back to the office? This is the only part I can't reconcile. Everything else about this whole letter seems 100% accurate. And so I should have no reason to question this. But he says the defectors were back in the office, but everybody else is dead. How is that? How can both those things be true? So are they dead or are they back in the office? So that's the only part I'm still don't know. And I feel like there might be an answer where somehow this letter is just still accurate. I don't know. Maybe it's both are true. Maybe everybody else is dead, but somehow they saved those defectors. Maybe those defectors are working in a sweatshop somewhere. Shit, man. I really hope that's not true.
1,500 people lived a tragedy, losing family members in a mystery, and 10,000s spent months searching and millions speculating for years. Then in 2014, military footage of the event got published on YouTube. Not our problem. The person responsible for the leak was identified and taken care of. Not by us, not our problem.
It all makes sense now. The letter's real. Not by us, not our problem. Didn't leak by us. Didn't leak from the Special Activities Center. The CIA didn't leak it. A man named Edward Lynn from the VPU-2 Wizards leaked it. So the Navy had to go after him. It wasn't the CIA that had to plug the leak. The Navy had to plug the leak because it was the Navy guy that leaked the videos. Boom. If you don't realize what just happened, let me lay it out for you. I've been under the impression that Edward Lynn was part of the operation. That somehow maybe Edward Lynn's tied to this letter that I'm reading right now. Edward Lynn wasn't part of the operation at all. Edward Lynn found the videos online, saw the videos, and freaked out and leaked it. You know why? Nobody who they trust to do this operation is ever going to leak these videos on the internet, ever in a million years. Never in a million years. There is no chance in a million years that anybody involved in these special operations would ever leak this footage. They would never do it. It's a death sentence to do it. Literal death sentence. And so that's not what happened. That's not how the footage got on the internet. The footage got on the internet because the Gorgon stare is on a public, not on a public server, on a private server where multiple people had access to it. And they probably screwed up and they forgot to put the super special secret illegal operations into its own spot. And Edward Lynn was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Saw the videos, freaked out. He freaked out. Of course he freaked out. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? Of course he freaked out. And he didn't even know. He probably didn't even know that that was like a super illegal operation. He just thought, oh, those UFOs orbed the plane. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's got to get out there. Or maybe I just got to show somebody. And then it got out there. Not our problem. I think we have a really good idea of who the person is that wrote the letter to Ashton Forbes. And the letter is very high production quality. I mean, listen to this. This is a high production quality letter. Somebody spent some time making this. This letter itself feels like a CIA operation, doesn't it? Doesn't the letter itself almost feel like a CIA operation? This is a white hat. This is a white hat. This is so accurate that it either has to be a white hat or somebody mixing the truth with fiction. But either way, whoever did this knows information that I didn't know at the time.
Then came you. Hi, Ashton. Impressive. This is what I want to leave you with. There was a guest on the Joe Rogan podcast that was talking about sacred geometry and some new technology his friends had discovered on some island somewhere. He did record another episode, but it never been published. Doesn't the wording sacred geometry remind you of something? If you choose to spend time on this, which I think you should instead of mall aliens, keep in mind that your case is one product of the technology. What happens on the other island, you will understand this if you pursue it, is another more rudimentary product. What if those in combination could lead you on the right path to the actual technology? The gray-bearded man is the key, and he probably has no idea that he is.
Well, if you haven't checked out the Hard Truths podcast with Randall Carlson, the last one from last week, now's the time you should probably listen to it. Now's the time. Probably listen to that podcast. It's a great podcast. It explores a lot of aspects of this that I don't normally go into because I try to stick on the hard science. But I am intrigued by ancient history, how long they've been hiding this technology, where it came from. I mean, what is going on in these videos? What is the story of how the background of this? So the letter wanted me to find Randall Carlson, and he had been talking about plasmoids. And to be honest with you guys, when I had heard this the first time, plasmoids, it sounded like some cuckoo stuff. Plasmoids, I thought this was like, okay, what's next? I gotta pledge my soul to the moon god. That's literally what I thought. And I've been proven wrong again on that. Turns out plasmoids are exactly a plasmatoroid. That's really all it is. Plasma is just an extra state of matter, fourth state of matter. And if you turn it into a Bose-Einstein condensate, that might be the fifth state of matter. So let's listen to the last bit. This is, of course, the best part by far. I'm just going to make it full screen. Here we go.
Finally, I want to say this. How do you defeat someone who can turn skyscrapers to dust, completely erase whole neighborhoods in an afternoon, and steal a burning Boeing 777 midair? Someone who, when needed, has the complete control of all media and crafts the perception of events and has most of humanity eating from its hands. After almost a full life in their service, I think I know the answer. You talk about them, and you don't stop talking.
Wow. Well, that letter is still, and I hope remains, the craziest shit that has ever happened to me. Because, wow. So they worked at Diego Garcia. They encouraged me. Hi, Ashton. Impressive. That's straight up chills. Coming from somebody who's clearly a spook. Clearly a spook. 1856, unique information that was thrown in. We have a magic FedEx, implying the CIA, Special Activity Center. We knew the defectors were leaving. Once again, implying the CIA. We took them back. Is this Lockheed Martin? Maybe the CIA is working with Lockheed Martin? They probably are. They're probably working with all the defense contractors. They're probably taking all the best tech from all of them. They knew the tech. They've done hundreds of operations. Hundreds of operations. The world wouldn't last a day if this technology got out. It's not aliens. It's just us again. Humans. We're the problem. We've always been the problem. So what did we learn? Almost certainly this has to be connected to a white hat with the CIA or somebody associated with the CIA. And the letter almost certainly has to be real because it's now corroborating evidence that we wouldn't have known about back at that time. Specifically, I mean, the Edward Lynn thing is really compelling. I mean, the leak didn't come from inside the operation. The leak came from outside the operation. This is why Edward Lynn is allowed now to talk happily about his time in the Navy, because he didn't do something that intentionally harmed national security. He saw an illegal black operation that nobody could have believed was real. The reason why everybody looks at these videos and they think they're fake is because it's beyond our comprehension right now. It's Da Vinci looking at the iPhone. So when Edward Lynn looked at these, they gave him slack because they're like, yeah, you probably couldn't have been able to tell. Like, he was probably like, hey man, I was just on the Gorgon Stair server on the Joint Special Forces, and I saw this footage. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what this footage was. I'm watching orbs spinning around a plane. How am I supposed to know that this is U.S. operation? How am I supposed to know that's United States? It doesn't look like conventional technology. So Edward Lynn would have leaked these videos unknowingly, unknowing how much damage he was really doing to national security. And then when the case comes, he's wondering why they're coming at him so hard. And they have to convince him. And they convince him to take a plea deal. Because the moment that they find out that he finds out that's our technology, he probably gets sick. He realizes how much damage he just caused to national security. Edward Lynn technically caused more damage to national security than any human being ever. Any human being ever. That video is the most national security damage I've ever seen. I think it's more than any national security damage ever combined. Like, that's more damage than Edward Snowden. That's more damage than Chelsea Manning. That's more damage than, what was that guy, Jack Tihera, that just gave away the war plans in the Ukraine. That's more damage than everybody combined. And that's fine. We still love you. We still love you, Eddie. You're still our hero. In fact, that makes you our hero. Because there was no chance in literal hell that we were ever going to figure that out without those videos. No way. Without those videos, we were never going to figure this out. Like, no chance, no doubt. The UFO disclosure people, they had us wrapped around their finger. They had us, we were about to get so psyoped. They were about to have the orbs come floating around in triangle formations, and people would have been making hats with triangles on them, praying to the orbs as their new gods. That was about to be happening, chat. We were about to see people making up new religions for these orbs flying around, saying that they're, you know, the new spirit race has come back to save us. And it was just going to be some douchebag in the CIA in the backwards punching some shit into the AI computer, having it float around, messing with them. We were cooked. And then now these videos leaked, and now, like, their plans are all just done. They got to throw out the whole playbook, the whole PSYOP playbook. They were probably so pissed. They were like, shit, like 1,000 PSYOPs just got eliminated in one from these leaks. They had to come with all new PSYOPs. Have you noticed, too, how bad their PSYOPs have gotten? I'm not one that really likes to play the victim. I don't really care. I kind of enjoy that they bring all their PSYOPs on me. Bring more PSYOPs. More debunks. I literally haven't even been impressed so far. It feels like after these videos got exposed, like they went full DEI or whatever, bottom of the barrel, right? Like the recruiting standards, the effort just wasn't there anymore. They used to be great at psyoping people. They could just completely make you think you're crazy. But like, you thought you saw military videos? Nah, bro. That's video games. That's video games. That doesn't work anymore. We're not that brainwashed anymore. COVID happened. A lot of other psyops have happened. You can't get us with the laser pointer anymore. We've learned. We were like, oh, whoop, there's the psyops. Oh, turned out it was a special activities center all along. Turns out the CIA has been working with Sierra Nevada Corporation, Lockheed Martin, and they've just been taking all the super secret spy surveillance and just putting it in the corner for safekeeping, for doing illegal operations. We see you now. Peekaboo. We see you. Yeah, imagine just being honest. This is the last thing I want to end you guys with tonight. Do you know what I love about our side in this? My side in this? I just am totally honest about everything. I have no burdens, no weight on my shoulders when it comes to like what I reveal or don't reveal or what I have to say or don't have to say. I just say whatever I want. I say whatever I want, and I never have to worry about getting caught in a lie or anything like that because I'm just transparent and honest all the time. It's just, it's lifting, it's freeing, you know? And these people can never have that. They can never have that. For their whole lives, in every conversation they have, They have to constantly be wondering if they're saying something they shouldn't be saying, or like what they say. And you can see it when you watch Hal Puthoff and Eric Davis and some of these people, where like the first thing they do is they look up and they think about how they have to phrase this information or that from information. That must just feel terrible. And imagine how much worse it feels when there's just people on social media just pounding you over the head with it, just slamming you with it, saying, we know you're full of shit. We know you're full of crap and you're lying to us. We know that you're trying to gaslight us and it won't work. Damn. That pressure must just be otherworldly. I don't envy anybody in that position. And I'm going to do my part to just help out and make sure that pressure is unwieldy as really possible. Just really uncomfortable, like all the time. Like someone just like biting on your arm all the time. That's how I kind of want it to feel. Anyway, I love you guys. MH370X. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed everything. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe. Check me out. Check out the Bob Greenyer Hard Truths podcast. Check out the interview I just did with Stephen Diener. That should be going live tomorrow, and it is fire. Absolute fire, guys. Love you guys. Peace.
In the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate. Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuums squeeze so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course. Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow. Thin shell formalism plates so fine, spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Forces balancing the plate, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound, a shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow. From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear. Exploring the cosmos, our future's here.
I forgot to do some of these donos. DJ Mizzy, thank you very much. BGA, thank you very much. Sam Fisher, I appreciate you. Mike says, Edward Lindsay Hero, thank you very much. Resolute Decide says, that's the big picture. Ashton just figured out the big picture. Thank you very much, Resolute. Appreciate you. Gark77, Tim Pool got delayed. He may have canceled. I don't know. But as far as I know, it was just delayed. We'll see later on, guys, how it goes. Fardin says, YouTube, Anton Petrov talked about a black hole bomb. I did see that. We almost talked about it tonight, but we ran out of time. Look for that on Friday. Black hole super weapon bomb. I'm definitely taking a look at that, guys. And then DC, MK Ultra, CIA group, Luis, L3 Harris. Yes, I know about them. Thank you very much. Alexander, that's a weird one. Julio, thank you for that quote. Appreciate you, man. We are not them. Great stream from Mike M. Thank you very much. Troy, appreciate you. Quinn, thank you. Alexander, thank you very much. And David R. This is interesting to think about as well. Thank you guys in the Pilled chat, Matt and Filter Dog. Thank you for those as well. And thank you in the Rumble chat for that donation. Bill Dozer. Peace, guys.